latar belakangnya penyelenggaraan AGC ini dulu Pak, sebagai ketua panitia.
Enggak, yang jelas kan ini Pak, penelitian kawan di sini itu supaya internationally heard, jadi didengar oleh dunia internasional, kan bisa sharing. Ya mungkin manfaatnya nanti bukan hanya bisa diaplikasikan di sini kan, juga bermanfaat di luar negeri. Kemudian juga kalau riset-riset seperti di Aceh mungkin ada uniqueness, ada yang menarik yang harus dipahami oleh orang luar negeri. Itu yang mendorong kita. Karena kemudian juga kalau akademisi, namanya akademisi itu tidak sempurna, kalau tidak membuat penelitian itu tidak sempurna. Ya, karena seorang itu ketika mengajar, kalau diangkat hasil penelitian itu akan lebih menarik.
Sehingga itu yang mendorong teman-teman menyelenggarakan Aceh Global Conference.
Yang mendorong kawan-kawan?
Mendorong kawan-kawan.
Ini Pak, kalau kita ini seperti sebuah kewajiban Pak.
Tridharma Pak ya.
Karena tanpa ada penelitian, tanpa ada publikasi, nggak bisa kemana-mana akademisi ini. Publikasi dalam bentuk jurnal.
Itu tujuan yang paling utama. Tujuan kedua, ketiga Pak, barangkali mau sounding Aceh pasca tsunami barangkali.
Nah, itu bisa jadi Pak, itu kan tujuan yang lahir sendirinya Pak.
Akibat sampingnya itu.
Kan sekaligus untuk ini kan, untuk memperkenalkan Aceh. Ini sama juga seperti beliau. Kenapa beliau harus ikut?
Oh, ini wanita juga?
Bukan, peserta.
Oh, peserta.
Makanya peserta.
Oh, berarti Bapak Ibu dosen ini?
Hah?
Bapak Ibu dosen?
Enggak, kan ada sebagai mahasiswa kan kita ada kewajiban untuk publikasi. Dan ini adalah wadah salah satu cara untuk mempublikasikan hasil penelitian kita kan, sekalian untuk mendapatkan masukan tambahan dari kawan-kawan lainnya terhadap apa yang telah kita lakukan penelitian kita.
Nah, artinya ada suplai informasi dari Indonesia ke internasional. Nah, menepis anggapan-anggapan semacam itu barangkali Bapak sebagai ketua panitia ini ada alasan-alasan logis lah Pak?
Enggak Pak, itu kan penelitian itu apa? Karena kita lemah dalam penelitian Pak. Sekarang ketika kita publish, jurnal yang bereputasi itu ada di luar negeri. Kita kirim artikel, kita harus bayar. Ketika kita sudah terbit nanti, mau download, mau baca juga harus bayar. Jadi uang itu mengalir keluar. Nah, kemampuan peneliti kita untuk membuat jurnal internasional itu sangat sedikit. Sehingga karena ketidakmampuan kita mengklaim, ini nggak benar, ini nggak benar. Semuanya kan buat jurnal sendiri, buat jurnal sendiri pun orang luar negeri nggak tertarik menerima kita. Itu.
Berarti ini saatnya Aceh menjadi perintis jurnal internasional. Lewat AGC pertama kali ini. Diharapkan ke depan menjadi jurnal pembanding.
Karena perankingan universitas itu Pak, perankingan berapa jumlah publikasi. Jadi publikasi kita sangat terbatas. Maka kan kementerian mewajibkan sekarang harus publikasi keluar nggak sanggup. Nah, maka disebutkanlah alasan ini supaya tidak diwajibkan publikasi.
Oke, terakhir Pak, kesan panitia atas penyelenggaraan ini terhadap peserta-peserta ini, kesan?
Kesannya?
Ya.
Nggak bisa membaca wajah dan ini Pak, karena mereka nggak menceritakan secara ini. Seharusnya itu ditanyakan. Kalau peserta ya, kalau kami ya happy aja. Kami berusaha memberikan yang terbaik, ya segala keterbatasan dan sebagainya. Ya namanya manusia kan. Maka kalau untuk menilai kami lebih bagus ditanyakan peserta.
Saya bocorin sedikit Pak. Dari peserta ini sukses, rame. Karena sementara sedang di Jawa saja, di Surabaya, itu menyelenggarakan begini tidak seramai ini. Nah, ini dari ujung pulau terjauh ini, malah pesertanya banyak sekali. Nah, itu bocoran dari saya Pak.
Karena kalau kita buat kampus lebih meriah Pak. Artinya ruang presentasi akan bisa, kan ada mahasiswa, ada dosen bisa masuk kan. memang ada plus minusnya kan di kampus dan di hotel kan. Peserta ya alhamdulillah Pak, termasuk rame kita kan. Ada hampir 150 peserta.
Luar biasa, luar biasa. Terima kasih Pak. Bapak nama lengkap gelar Pak, siapa Pak? Biar
Dr. Safri Abdul Majid.
Pak Dr. Safri Abdul Majid. Terima kasih atas wawancara dengan YouTuber. Barusan tadi wawancara Jalan Semolowaru dengan Bapak Dr. Safri, Ketua Penyelenggara Aceh Global Conference. Terima kasih. Yuk, the first. Dan saya berharap penonton YouTuber di yang ke second nanti juga ikut memeriahkan bersama, tentu di Aceh. Aceh sekarang keren. Terima kasih. Selamat siang.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First of all, I would like to thank my friends from Huncha Kuala and the members of the committee for the first Aceh Global Conference for inviting me and giving me the great honor to be with you today. Aceh is very close to my heart, so is Indonesia. It was my dream to study in Indonesia. It was my dream to work with Indonesian colleagues, and I've been doing that since 2014 when we started to work on the 2004 tsunami recovery and reconstruction. And I think that Aceh has been at the center of global economy and global trade since the 13th century. So I think that to call it the first global conference is the least we can do in Aceh. Secondly, I'm myself French. I left France when I was 19. I studied in England since then to do my bachelor's, master's, and PhD. So I spent 14 years in England, UK. I then moved to Japan in 2012. Thank you. I moved in Japan in 2012, and I lived there since then. So I spend more time outside my country than in my country. So, and I'm French, living in Japan. My wife is Korean. Our daughter is Korean and French. So I feel also part of this global community. So it's a really, really meaningful for me to be with you today. So today I'm currently assistant professor at the International Research Institute of Disaster Science at Tohoku University in Japan. This institute was created following the 2011 tsunami. So I have to, come in front of the screen. Remember this footage from NHK World, March 11, 2011.
North of Japan.
It's the greatest earthquake recorded in modern history of Japan.
For those of you who just tuned into NHK World, a major earthquake hit Japan Friday afternoon about an hour and 10 minutes ago.
And this is happening around 45 minutes away from my university.
Magnitude 8.4 has revised and
We are very close also to Aceh
because
because
tsunami warning for Japan.
this is Sendai city. Sendai and Aceh are very similar, very flat. So the tsunami really came several kilometers inside.
It could reach between 6 and 10 meters. We're getting reports of several buildings.
So at the time I was in the UK when I heard about,
damage at this time.
when I saw these images.
Soon to get a report from.
So, going back. Sorry. Right. So, finally. So this is where is Sendai. It's a little bit about, it's an hour from Tokyo. So just to give you an idea, this is Arahama. It's an area of Sendai where the tsunami flowed in. That's a primary school, SD, where people took refuge there. And now this, I will show you later, this school became actually a memorial hall with an exhibition and so forth. And this was basically before, and that's after. So you can see that all the way along Tohoku. This is one particularity, maybe difference with Aceh is we had the Fukushima nuclear plant, which was also damaged, and because of that we had radiation evacuation. And actually this, you can see the pictures here was taken in 2015. So people just left Fukushima area, the coast of Fukushima, and just left it like this. So there's still some areas are just left as they were because of the radioactivity. So what could we do? Well, we created an institute, and within the institute, one of the 4 pillars, you have engineering and tsunami science, you have disaster education, you have disaster management, mitigation, and another one, you have digital archives. And digital archive is very important because, of course, we collect information, but most importantly, we share, and we do what is called DRR, which is disaster risk reduction. So anything which is about disaster education, disaster mitigation, protecting basically the people, the society from natural hazards is about DRR, it's about disaster risk reduction. So you have the digital record. Of course, to share, we have to collaborate. And I will introduce also what is DRR in terms of practical activities. We collaborate with governments, universities, NPOs, media, private sector. The private sector is very important. That's why it makes sense to talk about digital archive when we talk about business and sustainable development. It's very important to think about this when you think about archive. So we recruited actually, rather than using only researchers, we actually recruited a lot of local survivors to collect data in their communities. So because they always look at what's going on, they always present during performance, meetings, they can see how the landscape is changing, much, much better than a researcher who comes like for 1 week, leaves, and then we don't see him again for maybe another month or 2 months or more, right? So people are there all the time and they report to us and share information. Then we organize community activities to actually share this information. I will show you a little bit more about it. And that's the kind of data we collect, photographs, photographs. But that's our progression during the first 3 seasons. Of course, photos are very important because they, of course, tell you about the power of tsunami, so you can actually teach people about the power of tsunami. But architects, engineers can actually use these photographs to understand the impact of tsunami. And I will show you a video that illustrates that a little bit more. We do also tsunami modeling and tsunami simulation. So this is, you have the time after the earthquake, and you can see the earliest wave hitting here, here, about 30 minutes, just before 30 minutes before the earthquake. This is Sendai. The wave still has to come. Still has to come, and now it's coming. Between 40 and 50 minutes after the earthquake. That's when the tsunami entered Japan. The Sendai Plain. Important, but why? Why is it important? It's important because, of course, we can actually give an idea of people, but also we can show them, look, what is a tsunami? A tsunami is not just one wave and goes, finished. No, it comes back and again and again and again and again and again. And that's where the damage is made. It's not made from the first wave. It's made from the second, third, and fourth wave. Okay. So this is a video. Sorry, there's no sound because we're always wary about people's feeling. This is a video of Sendai City, an area of Takajo. You can see the containers here.
And what do we see here? Of course we see water, we see black water. So tsunami is not a blue wave. That's the first thing we learn, right? A lot of people imagine, oh, if tsunami comes, I can swim. Well, I've tried to swim there. It's really, really difficult. So we need to evacuate first thing, right? Second thing, we learned that actually if one building is weak, it's going to impact on the next building. And this building is going to impact on the next building. That's why we need to have a very sustainable and strong infrastructure. This is the importance of having a strong infrastructure. I build a very strong house, but this one is not well built. It will impact on mine and the damage will be done. A little bit more technical. This is a laser camera, 360 camera, that is placed actually on top, like you know Google. They put it on top of on the car, and they actually record. And the laser basically sends. The laser is sent, impact here, record that point, impact here, record, and then with the computer you make a model like this. At the beginning, when I discovered that, because as I was introduced by Mr. Moderator, I'm actually a social scientist. So why is the use of that? I could not understand. Well, actually, you can. If you have a photo, you cannot know the distance between one point and the other. You cannot know the side of the building. With this, anyone can go and check what is the side of this building, what is the impact on this one. So you can actually record, again, the series of impact. We call it cascading disaster, cascading impact on the city to understand how tsunami and how to build stronger cities. This is another forms of recording, which is, this is very much like Street View used by Google. The difference is that we use a 360 camera. And the point of that I will show you is to actually trying to compare the recovery and the reconstruction 1 month after another, year after another. So why do we use disaster? I mentioned earlier that we need to share, we need to inform the government on how recovery and reconstruction is going. So what you just saw, we can actually have shot. You have this, you know, the PLTD in Oleh. That's the same one. We had a very similar one, but in Japan it was taken away for political and social reasons. So in the end, there's no more PLTD, and this is the reconstruction. This building also was destroyed. So you can track, you can monitor how the recovery and the reconstruction is going. That's another example, of course, through photos. That was taken in 2011. In October 2012 already you can see all the debris were cleared and the streets were a little bit better. And that's in the city of Ishinomaki. Again, you can see the difference. So we keep trying to take the pictures, collecting the data in the same place in a very kind of like, if you like, scientific and rigorous manner. So we can track in the future the recovery. And this is big difference, right? So 2011, 2018, already you can see the progress that's being made. And this I thought I introduce you because maybe it's not very familiar in Indonesia. Actually, I don't think it's familiar anywhere around the world. This is a conveyor belt. How to protect our cities? Like, if a tsunami comes, it's really, really hard just to put a wall and block it, right? When you have a tsunami of 6, 10 meters, maybe 20 or 30 in Japan. So what actually engineers, civil engineers thought about is to raise the land here. Actually, you see a little bit. Raise the land. So the land was raised in many areas up to 10 meters. So you just put dirt, right? You bring earth and you put it, and then you make, like you make a sand castle, you know, by the beach with your children on Sundays. You know, it's the same thing. So, but you build a city on top of it. So, but one of the solutions that the city here found is to actually, like, it looks like a train, right? And actually what they do, they cut the mountain, take the earth, put it on this belt there, conveyor belt, like the luggage, you know, at the airport, and then so that the The earth can arrive there and then be piled like this. So I thought that would be, interesting to show. So we're also trying to try these things. Disaster risk reduction. So it's about reducing the impact of natural disasters, right, on the community. So here we organized a conference with the United Nations. So we visited the United Nations headquarters in New York, and we proposed to organize a disaster risk reduction conference, world conference. A lot of our colleagues from Indonesia actually came, and also the government. And we had expos, so that the archive was in charge of building an expo to share our experience of the 2011. Also, we don't just make expo, we also produce things. So, for example, we have digital picture books for children. We build also tsunami, artificial virtual reality, AR, and this is basically we have apps, we made apps, and you go with your mobile phone, and you can actually see what is the state of the place just after the disaster, just after the tsunami. Because we talk with some of my colleagues, you come now in Aceh and you're like, oh, where was the tsunami? It's really hard to find, right? You can't find any more remains, or you find actually in Aceh a lot of remains, but the landscape doesn't tell you. But if you come with a mobile phone, you click on the app, the mobile phone knows where you are, right, with the GPS, and shows you pictures of the area where you are. So that is the kind of thing that we do, and in addition to building maps and other 3D movies. We organize also workshops, both at Oak University and Harvard University. And this is to teach the students how to use the archive, how to share the knowledge built in the archive. And then I'll show you, this is the storytelling symposium. And in Aceh, I visited the Aceh Tsunami Museum, and there were storytellers. They shared their experience, and they made a video. But in Japan, we went a little bit further than that, so I have to go in front of the screen again. And we made a symposium where about 1,000 people come every year. And so this is the next, this will be...
安倍さんは文筆業をされています。震災後の津波で家族は全員無事だったものの自宅を流されました。瓦礫はゴミじゃない。石巻市の安倍邦子さんです。
So this is a famous actress who was reading a story of a survivor.
字で書いた通りの意味があるって実感したのは避難所から初めて自分の家を見に行った時。
And this story is about a survivor saying that rubble, so debris, is not rubbish. Is not. And why is it important? Because when there was a lot of clear out after the tsunami, people threw away a lot of things. But sometimes it was kind of precious memories for the people. And that's something that we learn from the 2001 tsunami and through this. When we have a recovery, we need to be careful of what we throw away and what we keep for the people. So if anything can be memory, can be precious for the survivors, we need to keep it.
それ見たとき、みんな瓦礫瓦礫って言うけど、これはゴミじゃないよなって思った。震災瓦礫の受け入れを拒否する人たちは、そんな危ないゴミを持ち込まれても困るっていう。他人にとっては確かにゴミかもしれないね。でも瓦礫になっているのは、もともと私たちが大切にしていたものなんだよね。愛知ボランティアセンターから来てくれた中学生の子が瓦礫を一つ一つ拾いながら。
Now, I'm switching a little bit from one to the other, but they are connected. because it's a little about revitalization as well. So through these events, we actually attract people to where the tsunami took place. And an extension to that, and that's something we do recently, is disaster tourism. And in Japanese, we call it Bosai Kanko. And we use some of the products we made, like 360-degree tour. So using, we use glasses, Panasonic glasses, for example, where people can wear the glasses and can look around them, and they see actually the area how it was, just after the tsunami. We do also something, we include package, so not just about the disaster, but also with a cultural event. So I took part in it, so we stay in a nice hotel, having a nice Japanese food, learning about Tohoku, because Tohoku, is a region where the tsunami happened, learning about Tohoku culture, Tohoku traditions, as well as learning about their experience of the tsunami. So it's kind of a combination that we do, and our mission, and that I will probably conclude with that, our mission is really to not only do academic and research activities, is actually also to revitalize and support the reconstruction of the community that have been devastated by the tsunami. So that's really, really important. Because still now, 2018, right, 7 years already have passed, but still economic development is still at the very beginning. So we have to kind of promote and trying to attract people from Tokyo and other places in Japan, as well as from abroad, to come and visit Tohoku and support entrepreneurs in Tohoku. So we have people commenting on the disaster tourism here, some from California, Taipei, Thailand, and also Harvard University. Disaster global and collaboration, so I'm just going to make it very short. Why am I talking about this? It's not really so much about sustainable development. It is in a sense because it's not just sustainable development, it's not just about Tohoku. We want to also learn and share from other areas. For example, I just skipped that. Kumamoto Prefecture 2016, maybe it's an earthquake you haven't heard about. But what you might know about is more about Aceh Tsunami Museum. We actually have a memorandum of understanding with the museum. We have a memorandum of understanding with the Disaster Institute, TDMRC of Shakwala University. And so we work together, and now that our current project is called Data, Disaster Archive, a digital archive of tsunami in Aceh. So just in conclusion, I think the archives is not only a storage place, but it's to encourage the exploitation of these records for disaster mitigation, risk reduction, and sustainable development. And finally, we need to utilize here this knowledge accumulated over the years, and this is true for not just for Tohoku, but for every region in the world, and to support the development of international standards and disaster archive to then, again, contribute to disaster risk reduction, contribute to the sustainment. It's all kind of like one cycle. So thank you very much for your attention.
Pak Samit tadi. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All praise to Allah Ta'ala, and that bring us together today. And I have 2 videos to show, but unfortunately the time is 20 minutes. I think I should prioritize my presentation rather than the video, but I have 2 videos. Quite interesting because the first video is only 2 minutes. It's like what's going to happen 10 years from now. Then the one of the slides showing that the population of the world is 8.2 billion, and the Muslim alone 2.2 billion. So we are the majorities. But what our preparations on that? The second presentation is the about how we can customize or personalize the drone, the micro drone that can be a killer, height killer. So this is what I'm not sure whether we have time for it or not. So I will start my presentations, and this is my topic, Industrial Challenge 4.0. You want to use the things, yeah. 4.0, the challenge and solution from Islamic perspective. Okay, this is myself. You can skip this. Okay, this is my content. What is IR 4.0? This one. Okay. Then ICT in Islam. Actually, I have a book, ICT Islam. This book is being used as a textbook in Malaysia, in couple universities, in University Islam in Indonesia in Jakarta, and it's been translated in my good friend from Shukri Lamputi in Thai, in Algeria, and in Bangladesh, and also in Bahasa Melayu. I bring only a few copies. Anybody want to have it? So most of this is in Malay, by the way. And then what is the issues and challenge, and are we ready? But then what is IR 4.0? It starts with mechanization. This IR 1.0. Then steam power, weaving bloom. Then we continue on IR 2.0 is assembly line, electrical energy, and mass production. Then it depends which country we are from. Some of us are 2.0, some of 3.0, automation, computer, and electronic. But now we are moving to IR 4.0. And in Japan they say it's IR 5.0. I'm not sure. They will depend, IR 4.0 depend on AI, artificial intelligence. It's good and it's bad. The question is the bad part. Okay? And Internet of everything, not just Internet of things, but Internet of everything. And physical system and network. Can you push the button for me? Thank you. Okay. And this is the video I will show later. Next. Okay. And this is the pillars. Most interesting thing is people here. We always forget the people role or people wear. I call it people wear. We have hardware, we have software. Who develop it? People wear. And most important thing in people wear is the hardware. This is my line of argument or my proposal. Next. And here again, the impact to society is much bigger than industry. It began in German. This 4.0 is for industry. But now the impact much more on the society. And we are Muslims, we're not prepared and we're not sure what is the challenges and the solution. And I want to highlight here is point here. Yeah. It's empowering people. Empowering people. These are using empowering people and automation. Now next. Okay. This is the first surah that revealed to Rasulullah SAW. And here it's very important to talk about Al-Alam. And the mu'jizah of the Prophet Muhammad SAW is still exists, yani Quran, and we're still using it, Quran. But the mu'jizah, miracle for the Prophet Musa SAW is gone, stay. Noah SAW gone, but Quran still exists. But in this mu'jizah, Allah revealed the important things that we should know. What is the first creation that created by Allah SWT? I don't have much time, but I'm going to give you the answer right now. The first creation to be created by Allah SWT is computer. When he said, well, it's Jannah, heaven, someone said, Adam said, oh, angels, no, it's computer. And I have hadith sahih to defend on it. Tafsir Ibn Qasir, Surah Al-Qalam, verses 1 to 4. And here also talk about computer. And it linked to Iqra, yani to read. To read, to become knowledgeable. And here Allah define what is qalam. Alladhi 'allama bil qalam, 'allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. Here Allah define what is qalam. What do you use for the qalam? You're going to write, store and share knowledge, isn't it? What is the technology that store and share knowledge right now? It's computer. Can be your smartphone, can be your Google, can be your YouTube, can be any archive system. It's right to store and share knowledge. And that is kalam technology. And for me, that is computer, quote unquote. But for Shukri, no. The Dr. Sidi Fadil said, for that you can say maybe computer. Cannot be, must be computer. Because we cannot say Allah's computer is like our computer, have keyboard, have ALU, have control unit. Where Allah said He's sitting on a chair, kursi, doesn't mean this chair. Where Allah said Allah has hand, doesn't mean like our hands. Different. The concept is different. The most important thing, the understanding. Okay, next. And let's computer next. This is the hadith sahih that I told you just now. You can go back to Surah Al-Qalam Tafsir Nukasir. It's hadith sahih. I asked the muhadisin, Brother Husni, you know Dr. Ibrahim, Habib Ibrahim Sah, I think your teacher too, Dr. Habib. He said yes, hadith sahih. Because I'm graduate from Amerikiyun wa Britannia. I don't graduate from Alal. This is more ustaz than me. He's graduate from IUM. Okay? Here the hadith says, Inna awal ma khalaqa Allah al-qalam. The first creation to be created by Allah is qalam. This hadith sahih. Then qalam said to Allah, to God, Qala, then God, Allah asked qalam to Qala uktub. Right. For human being, ikra. For qalam, uktub. Then qalam said to Allah, Qala ya Rabb, wa ma uktub, what shall I write? Then Allah said, Qala uktub al-qadar wa ma huwa ka'inna ila al-amal. So this is the hadith side. Next, I'm going to a little bit fast here. Here's Kitabul Markum. What is Kitabul Markum? Sheikh Hamza Yusuf said it's digital book. Digital book. What is the Arabic word for Markum? The root word is rakam, isn't it? Rakam is number, figure. Everything that we jotting down here, recording our deed. I'm sitting here, I'm standing here, you are sitting there, is the based on number. How many raka'ah we pray for Fajr, 2 raka'ah, how many times we make tawaf, is the 7 times, is also measures. Okay, next. This is what is the second creation after qalam? It's Lawh Mahfuz. Because historic Lawh Mahfuz. Ma makna Lawh, ma makna Mahfuz. Lawh is bought, Mahfuz well protected, well secured, well preserved. Archive. And Allah guarantee that nobody can hack, nobody can crack. That's why it's called Lawh Mahfuz. Lawh bought, Mahfuz means well protected, well secured. In computer science, in IT, when we say well secured, well protected, mashallah. In any system, you know, Sebastian, that CIA, KGB, they surrender. They said, our system is not perfect. Now, someone out there can hack, and can crack our system. But Allah in day one said, nobody can hack, nobody can crack. That's why He call it Lawh Mahfuz. He don't call it Lawh Hikmah or Lawh Ilm, but Lawh Mahfuz. Next. And you know who the first one start these telecommunication industries? Rasulullah SAW. He don't have the speaker or microphone like us. But what he did, he assigned the Sahaba to repeat after him. When he said, Ittaqullah, the Sahaba said, Ittaqullah, Ballighu anni walau ayah, Ballighu anni walau ayah. That's why we have the same tradition with our scholar right now. When Imam said, Allahu Akbar, the Bilal repeat, Allahu Akbar. Rasulullah transmit, Sahaba receive, Sahaba repeat. Transmitter, receiver, and repeater. This is the basic telecommunication concept in our industry right now. But who make money? Samsung. Who make money? Apple. Where are we? So it's high time for us to prosumer, produce and consume, not just use. And this is a story about firewall and Surah Al-Kahfi. Quite interesting. If I have time, I can explain more, because that book, this book actually is a textbook for postgraduate for 1 semester. So 14-week lecture. So I don't have time for 20 minutes for this. Okay, next. This is Hujurat. This is a concept of sharing, knowledge sharing, value wala ayah, cloud computing, open source. Next. Guy go garbage in, garbage out. Why during Ramadan we're so good, so nice, almost so perfect? Okay, some said because of the shaitan has been changed or be locked up. But my theory is because we really careful with our input. We don't eat during the night, during the days. We eat during the night. We don't backbiting. We don't involve with argument or fighting. We say we are fasting. Because when we, and our input is, many of our input is about spiritual input. More Quran, more tadarus, more taraweh. So if you have more good input, the process is good, the output also good. Now it's suffer back to square one with the control our food. And we are also backbiting. Okay, continue. Okay, this is important. For those who are not paying attention, please, this is very important. You appreciate so much. And you will relax in Surah Al-Yasin. This is 1 gram of DNA, I have it here. This is 1 gram of DNA, this white stuff here. 1 gram DNA, they put it on the top of the 1 CD-ROM. Is the 1 CD-ROM can store 800 megabytes of data. This is a study done by Professor Dr. Locke Resti from North Carolina University. And 1 gram DNA is actually equivalent to 145 trillion CDs. How are you going to imagine 145 trillion CDs? Actually, if you want to put back-to-back these CDs from Aceh, Bandar Aceh to Tokyo, back to LA, Chicago to London, Mecca, back to Aceh, you have to tawaf 375 times the CDs. If you want to listen to this 1 gram DNA, it will take you this 163,000 centuries of MP3 or MP4. We listen, I try to listen, but this time don't listen to MP3 from Kuala Lumpur to Aceh. You don't have time, 30 minutes only. But you want to listen your MP3, MP4, it will take more, it's not just 1 hour. It's just not meant 1 week, 1 year, 100 years, 100 centuries. No, 163,000 centuries. This only 1 gram of DNA. I asked medical doctor, how many grams that I have for my DNA? I said, how's your weight? I said, my weight is, sorry, you keep recording and keep moving. I'm going to stick here. Okay, you are recording my moving here and there. I appreciate it. Sometimes people FB live. Okay, where are we now? How the weight? I'm in Ramadan, alhamdulillah 63 kilo. But after Ramadan now, it may be 64, 65. So, and that is our DNA, our weight. Our hair is our DNA. Our saliva is our DNA. This sweat is our DNA. All these have DNA. And I will tell you why the mothers know that if your children is not faring well. Why? You know that? Why is not the father? And this can connect to the Sirah of Umar radiallahu anhu. I will discuss later. So this is 1 gram DNA. Next. This is the photos by NASA 3,000 years ago, 3,000 light years away. But in Surah Al-Rahman, it's described that it's like red rose and like ointment. NASA said it's cat's eye nebula. More than cat's eye nebula or red rose. And Allah described katihan, ointment. Next. This I want to show that California even appreciate that we are the one and ever the world that building of computers. Next. Next. Okay, I'm talking about here, California said, is Islamic world from 800 years to 600 years. Next. Okay, and the Turkish dynasty would not exist without contribution of Arab and Muslim. It is not just Arab, but the Turkish Ottoman Empire. And during Ottoman Empire, there are letters from Ottoman Empire to Aceh. The Aceh and the trade with the spies to protect from the Portuguese and so on. Okay, next. This is a challenge. We have the social issues challenge, individual, education, industry, and socio-economic. Next. And we have money laundering in fake news, human trafficking, weapon production, selling profit items, suicide, cyber grooming, cyber bullying, and so on. Next. Okay, this is quite interesting. The world largest taxi in the world, but don't have any taxis. Uber or Grab. They don't have taxis. They don't have any Gojek. Yeah. But they are the world largest taxis. World largest hotel or accommodation provider, but they don't have any building for hotel. Real estate is Airbnb. World largest phone companies in the world, but they don't have any infrastructure for telecommunication. They are Skype and WeChat. Fastest growing banks in the world, no actual money, society one. Most popular media creates, but they don't create any content, Facebook. World most valuable retailer, no inventory, Alibaba.com. Okay. World largest movie house, but no cinemas, Netflix. Largest software vendors, but don't write any application, Google and Apple. So what are the similarities and differences? Uber, Facebook, Alibaba, Netflix, and so on. Next, they have no inventory product, but they sell information and knowledge. They discover buyer and seller. They are the middleman. They are knowledge broker. They are knowledge broker. Next. So I have the solution here: hardware, modern society, wisdom, and mangkasih syariah. Next. And hardware next. Okay, I will introduce. In United Kingdom or United States, where you studies how many minutes? 2 minutes. Wow. Okay, I'll go a little bit fast. Here, they don't discuss on hardware, but for us, a Muslim, hardware is very important. Okay, next. This hadith where Rasulullah said, if this part of body is darkened or sayyat, kullu jasad sayyat. If this part is hasanah, kullu jasad hasanah. And this is heart. When I say, please pay attention, what should I say in Malay? Beri perhatian. Kalau saya bilang be careful dalam bahasa Melayu atau Aceh di sini mengatakan apa ya?
Waspada.
Berhati-hati, bukan bermata-mata, bukan bertelinga-telinga. You may look at me, you may listen to me, but your heart is somewhere else. So the hardware is very important. I can explain more, but it's only 1-2 minutes. Next. Again, this DIKW. Next. This, if we don't do anything, we will go down. You have to do something. Next. We should go to wisdom technology. Next. And we should have wisdom. Thompson said, when you have wisdom, you have compassionate. I add here merciful. Who is the most merciful, most compassionate? Allah SWT. Next. And we should see whether it is daruriyat, hajiyat, or tasniyat in terms of this AR 4.0. Next. And we have this 5 principle. Maka sosial can protect din, nafs, akal, nasab, and almal. Next. And for me, R 4.0 plus maka sosial, we're going to come up with rahmatan lil alamin. And here next, next. And Al-Farabi introduced this Madani society. We've been popular by in Malaysia 20 years ago by Anwar Ibrahim. But now, alhamdulillah, come back, and Madani society is regaining the popular. Before this, we don't even can say about Madani society. Next. And my highest one is the last slide is about wisdom society. We should come up with wisdom communication, wisdom workers, wisdom management, and wisdom society. I want to tell you about why the mother is not, why mother feel they can get feeling, or they know that their children is not feeling well, not the father. You know why? Because you been carry the baby for 9 months, not the father. During 9 months, they are configure alignment address, the MAC address, not just IP address, but the MAC address. Your DNA and your children, baby's DNA is almost the same. When the baby of your children, your son or daughter is not feeling well, they trigger your DNA. That's why you get the feeling. In Sirah, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anh, when he gave khutbah, he can see his army in one battlefield. Then he said, please go to another hill. Do not go to another hill. And the general in the army heard his voice. Then we come back to Madinah, said, do you say in this Friday? They say yes. And the Ma'mum said, why this Umar say something else, not in the context of football. I have more to go. I have two videos. I'm not sure whether we have time. We don't have time. Okay. If I have time, I show you the video. It's about, there are two videos important. One, that we are Muslims going to be 1/3 of the population of the world. But what is our preparation? Second, the AI is here to stay. They are not whether you have choice whether to take it or leave it. No, they are here to stay. Like tradition before, most of our scholars say it's haram. But then internet, they say haram. Facebook's haram. But now they are here to stay. So how are we going to solve it? So we have to solve it. And we have to solve it together. We cannot do it alone. Okay? And this, the video we're going to show, not today, but later on maybe I should come back to Aceh. Okay? That they can personalize you. They know exactly this Professor Shukri Lampute, and he come, the drone is too small. And it can come here and can penetrate the wall and target you. Personalize it. They can target each individual. In one hall, they can say, we want to kill only 20 people of this hall. They can do it. Now they're doing it. Okay? Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين به نستعين. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. أما بعد. Terima kasih Pak Heru, teman lama yang saya ketemu di Turki. Alhamdulillah hari ini beliau sebagai moderator saya. My team panelists and participants of the first Aceh Global Conference. In fact, I'm confident that once somebody who is confused of himself, like what Prof. Sebastian mentioned, that he himself is French living spending times in the UK, and then getting married to a Korean. I didn't have somebody who has to be your next kin, who is confusing himself or herself whether Korean or French or whatever, living in another place. I myself, on my mother's side, I'm from Indonesia. So whenever I come to Indonesia, I will start by using my ancestors' language. Memang nggak bisa lagi, kalau rokok itu nggak bisa, bahasa Jawa nggak bisa. Begitu juga hubungan dengan Aceh. Saya dari Satun, Thailand. Satun was part of Kedah of the past in the Kasuka dynasty, and we were a bit close with Aceh. A lot of storytelling activities that happened in my country, in my province, talking about Aceh and some of the part of the world. But I don't know, unfortunately or fortunately, from my father's side, I'm from China, from Guangdong. Woman Guangdong Road. Jadi dengan itu, because of that, I went to China. Because one thing, I look at the future trend of the world, especially we are talking, I'm 4.0. I'm not sure whether the Western bloc is winning or gaining more, or the Eastern bloc is gaining more. Japan, Korea, and China. That's why I choose to be a student of Chinese University, waiting for the new 4.0 or 5.0, especially when we're talking about the economic development. So I went to China, and my Chinese name was Su Keli. Anyway, the topic is, in fact, something that I myself is not expert on economics. I myself by training a political scientist and specializing in international relations. And my work is mostly on transnational migration between China, Korea, and Japan to Southeast Asia and Southeast Asia to those places. And tomorrow I'll go to Taiwan for another meetings. Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. UNISA, UNER, and Batuan University is collaborating with National Chengchi University, working on this Southeast Asian trend in transnational migration. Anyway, 20 minutes is not effective. I understand that Prof. Sebastian can spend for not 20 minutes but 20 days talking the same thing. And Prof. I believe you can spend about 20 months here talking on this kind of issues. So, and I believe that Prof. Hayati can also spend for more than 2 days for sure, if your VC approved to be here. Anyway, when I say regionalizing religious-based economy, I will focus only on Islam, because we have no time within 20 minutes. And ASEAN community, ASEAN 4.0 is just to fulfill the requirements of the organizer. They said, okay, there should be IR 4.0 as well, so I put 4.0. But anyway, how Islamic-based economy can fit with 4.0 economic development? What are the opportunities and what are the challenges? Well, who am I? I'm confused of myself, but I'm not confused of myself being Muslim. And I love to quote again when Prof. Fauzan ended the discussion when mentions something plus something and become rahmatul alamin.
Yeah.
What was that?
Is
R4.0 plus Makasih Syariah and finally become rahmatul alamin. Islam was not sent to Muslim. Islam was sent to everyone. And the Quran is not belong to Muslim. The Quran is for everyone. And because of that, we were talking about Islamic economy. It's not the economy for Muslim. It's the economy for all. And think about 8 billion human beings living in the world in the next few years, and 1/3 of that numbers of Muslims of the population are Muslim. We should care about others, and we should be giver rather than receiver. And when we are talking about ASEAN motto, I ask my students to remember one vision, one identity, and one community, right? Satu visi, satu identitas, satu komunitas. But when I apply to Muslim, I said one aqidah, one ibadah, one ummah. When you say one vision is one aqidah, and one identity is one ibadah. Ibadah is identity. Allahu Akbar. Somebody say, oh, you're Muslim. By what? By your praying at the airport. By, you're breaking fast or whatsoever. Or you do pilgrimage in Mecca. So ibadah is in fact identity, your identity. But one community is one ummah. I'm holding my passport which is Thai. But when I come to Indonesia, Assalamualaikum Pak Heru. We are the same ummah. You forget about my passport. You don't ask me, where's your passport? Yesterday when I was at immigration checkpoint, I said, Assalamualaikum, apa kabar Pak? Orang Indonesia kan? Di sana Pak, di sana Pak. Bukan saya orang Thailand. When I said Assalamualaikum, I said, apa kabar Pak? He thought I'm Indonesian, so he said, no, this is not your line. Your line is there. Orang Indonesia di sana kan? I said, no. So that's why when we are talking about ASEAN, I think ASEAN was designed by God through someone, I don't know who initiated that, in order for us to pave the way, platform for uniting the ummah. This is, I don't have to explain that. My university now, we try to get students from Vietnam, from Laos, from Myanmar, and Cambodia. So we got all the students here, and finally, I got students from Singapore, from Indonesia, from Malaysia. Now I'm waiting for students from Brunei and the Philippines. Next year we will have 10 countries coming to this small campus of mine. We want to apply the feeling of ummatic, unity among ASEAN community. Okay. And finally, you see, from ASEAN community will become ASEAN +1 and ASEAN, APEC, AMA, AMOI, and a lot of things can be done in the future. And then, can I? Okay. I cannot finish within 20 minutes. Because my country will look at the prologue. The second point, the religious-based economy as base for economic and socio-cultural development in ASEAN community. And the third will be the religious-based economy as vehicle for economic and socio-cultural development. Then I will go for challenges and opportunities. Then I end up with my epilogue. But I will cut it short to finish within 20 minutes. But Hero, please show up your hands when it is exactly 20 minutes. I don't want to eat your time. Well, my prologue is Islamic economy is in fact economy for all. This is what I always put to myself, my sons, my daughters, and some other people, that Islamic economy is not for Muslims, it's for all. When the Prophet applies the first Islamic economic development in Medina, not in Mecca, in Medina. And the community of Medina from Yathrib become Medina al-Munawwara. Finally, when Islamic economic was applied in Medina, Yathrib, which is kering kerontang gitu, sudah jadi Munawwara. It means that the community which stays, live with the Prophet is not only Muslim community, Jewish even there. And even the name is Abu, not Muslim. They're Christian and Jewish, living together with the Prophet. And then changing of world demographical geography is also another important point for us now today to have to discuss about this issue, because I went to Greece trying to get food, halal food in Greece. I said, there is no halal, logo from the restaurant. But when I said, Assalamu alaikum, Bangladeshi came out, bro, don't worry, we have halal food for you. Okay, good for you, no problem, no problem. See, I don't see, young Greek, chef or cook, because they left the country because of economic turmoil, economic downturn. But people from Bangladesh came with the whole village, come and work in restaurant in Greece. So finally, when I went to Greece, I wanted to see somebody who are really Greece, not Bangladeshi. I wanted to go to Dhaka to see Bangladeshi. See, the demography changed. Now everywhere you go to the world, you must see Chinese, right? Before, of course, you see what? You see Chinatown, but there is no Chinese, even one in Jordan, in Amman. You went to Bahrain, you see Chinatown, but you didn't see Chinese there. But now things change. Even in Jeddah, you see a lot of Chinese, or even not Muslim, living in Jeddah, helping Chinese government in building the railroad. You see, so demography change. When demography change, it means that economic development in the world changing as well. Because the way we eat, people who are, who are Chinese, who are Indians, who are Malays, are eating different kind of foods, right? Okay, and then moving towards digital economy. Okay, Professor has discussed on that. When we are moving toward digital economy, bagaimanakah Islamic economy can fit with digital economy? And then transnational digital citizen is also related to the second one. Well, I started with this. When we are talking about the Islamic economy, religious-based economy or Islamic economy is the base for ASEAN economic and socio-cultural development. I will start with this one, Rukun Islam. Professor mentioned a lot about ayat al-Qur'aniyah or hadith, even though he's a professor of IT, but today he's ulama, he's faqih. Ustaz, Professor. I try to understand and try to dig deeper and deeper why the Prophet used the word dunia. Orang Aceh kan banyak ulama banyak bahasa Arab ya. Kenapa dunia, Pak? Kenapa tidak khalaqa? Kenapa tidak ja'ala? Ja'ala al-Islamu ala khamsin, bisa kan? Dijadikan Islam itu 5. Adapun usisa diasaskan Islam itu atas 5 asas, bisa. Khalaqa, diciptakan Islam itu atas 5 pilar, bisa. Tapi karena bunia is bina is construction. When you are constructing things, you need pillars, right? You need cement, you need foundations, you need piling, you need everything. So it means that to become Muslim, you need this kind of infrastructures, which need to be constructed. So that's why when I try to understand Shahadatain, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah fahiru, Shahadatain for me is in fact educational economy. Kenapa? Because of to understand ma'rifatillah, we have to establish schools. And how many schools in Aceh? How much you spend for the schools? Islamic school, pesantren, UIN, sekolah tinggi Islam, berapa ratus? And how much you pay for that? It means that Shahada, La ilaha illallah, to understand Sunnatullah, you need educational economy. And then Muhammad Rasulullah, professionalism in education. The education for professionalism is Muhammad Rasulullah. Because there you have economy, there you have technology, there you have this and that. And hadith is, in fact, to my humble understanding, is the explanations of professionalism based on the Prophet's activities. So, dari rukun Islam yang pertama itu sudah berlaku educational economy, and how much for Indonesian university that you pay? The government of Indonesia, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agama, that pay for education to understand La ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah. Berapa ni? Okay, second, solat. Solat for me is textile economy. Apa itu textile economy ni, Prof? Dekan, Ibu Dekan ekonomi ni. Solat dan textile economy itu apa itu? Is there any religion that ask you to wear properly before solat? Islam says, okay, kalau mau solat, you have to cover your aura. And for girls, for men, and how much you pay for one set of clothes before you pray. If Prophet mentioned 2.8 billion are Muslim, how much we pay for that? For the whole world, 2.8 billion, berapa itu? Money for investment, just for one set of clothes to pray for God 5 times a day. Can you imagine? That's why I say this is the base of economic development. Muslim cannot be poor. At least you must have your own property that is close to pray. Well, sorry. And Siyam. Siyam for me is food industry. Food economy. Why? Because I went down to my community and I conducted a research, a survey research, how much they pay for iftar. Ya Allah, Rabbi. Everyone is bringing here, I mean, and a lot of, plastic bags, as if they are going to eat for the whole day. But in fact, for iftar, it's 5 minutes. I was thinking, you eat for 5 minutes, or just 20 minutes after fasting for the whole day, for the whole 12 hours. Then within 30 minutes, everything, when you go to the toilet, everything gone. And how much you pay for that? And you can imagine, in Aceh community, if we do have 300 million Muslims, how much we pay at that evening when we together break the fast. And again, you wake up for sahur, and how much we pay. So that's why I try to understand from this point of view. And zakat. For zakat, I try to understand Rukun Islam, the fourth Rukun Islam, as social finance and self-reliance, self-dependence that happens in Muslim community. That is why we are living in non-Muslim country. We are just 5% Muslim in Thailand, but we do have Wakaf University. My university is Wakaf University. We have 28 buildings, all Wakaf. Roughly, I don't know how to calculate in rupiah, or in euro, or even in dollars, but in Malaysian ringgit, it is about 300 million ringgit now.
Wow.
Just 20 years. We could accommodate 300 million ringgit Wakaf land to be Islamic university, but now we changed from Jalan Islamic University to Pertama University. We omit the word Islamic because we do have non-Muslim students coming into it. So can you imagine that this is about social finance, because zakat, we got endowment from Muslim community. And finally, from this Rukun Islam, said you see Hajj, Haji. Think about Hajj as not Masail, but Fada'il Haji. When you talk about Fada'il, it is a platform for fashion design annually. Because what happened to my place, people are waiting for Hujjaj to come back, not to say Hajj Mabrur, but what to buy for me. And finally, when everyone got, oleh from Makkah, from Medina, and we open it, made in China. Made in China. Made in China. And again, when you buy it at the, more expensive shop, made in Korea. Made in Korea. Made in Korea. It happened. And more, now I went to Ho Chi Minh City. Kita ada pasar pakaian halal in Ho Chi Minh City. Vietnam is what? Vietnam is a socialist country still. They are still active with the idea of this kind of thing. Even, moving slower than China. But in Ho Chi Minh City, in Ban Thanh night market, you see the whole market you can find halal clothes for women, untuk sholat, untuk libur, raya, lebaran. For Eid. And now people from Brunei do not come to Tanah Abang anymore because of macet, because of this and that. And even people say last 2 years or last 3 years, the design in Tanah Abang is a little bit not 4.0. The design is a little bit 2.0 or even 3.0. But design in China and design in Korea, even design in Vietnam is 4.0 or 4.50. That's why we moved there. We went there and buy. My friend went with backpack, come back with 100 kilos pack. By Air Asia. I'm not promoting Air Asia. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Rukun Islam, an Islamic-based economy. I'm talking about what we are doing every day, right? I'm talking about solat. Setiap hari kita solat. Zakat, kita bayar zakat. Siyam, every year we do fasting. And Haji, every year Muslims in Southeast Asia are going there. Think about how can we change this phenomena of Islamic Rukun Islam, the pillars of Islam, to become economic platform for development. Can we have Hajj collaborations in ASEAN community? Malaysia is best practice in management. Indonesia is best practice in transportation. You have more than 100,000 hujaj. You can accommodate, bringing them to Jakarta, to Aceh, from everywhere, to Jeddah, to Medina within 1 month. Malaysia, you don't have that much, about 26,000 hujaj, but the way you manage in Makkah, in Medina and Jeddah, the best performance of Hajj management in the world. Thailand, we do have just 13,000 hujaj. We also bring them to Makkah and Medina within 1 month as well. And then our hujaj, 10 kilometers away from Baitullah Haram. So if we have, for example, our kind of collaborations among Muslims community in ASEAN countries, we can have a lot of things can be done with it. Can we have Hajj? 2 minutes? What Allah Rabbi? Okay. I don't even go to. So I have to come to Aceh again, right? Look at that. Religious-based economy as base of economic and socio-cultural development. I just talked on one point of principle of Islam, Islam as a base for economic development. Please go more and do research on this. Teaching on Islamic economic system, which is applicable for both Muslim and non-Muslim. How to let non-Muslim feel that Islamic economic, interest-free economy is one of their activities as well, that finally can bring prosperity for everyone, not only for Muslim. And then Baldatun Tayyibatun wa Rabbun Ghafur, sources of mobilizing state economy for economic development. I talk to my friends in Thailand. Sometimes you don't have to go for istiqlal. You don't have to go for independence. You just bring Baldah Tayyibah for your country. That's enough. Okay. Pak, sikit lagi ya. Religious-based economy as vehicle for economic and social cultural development. It will be mechanism for Islamic social finance system, mechanism for halal nutritional markets. In Ramadan, we can produce nutritional market. We can produce mechanism for halal hospitality markets for Hajj, and then mechanism for halal textile market, solar and mechanism for halal educational system. That is for Shahadatain. And then challenges. I don't have time anymore, but anyway, just go through. We have to change the mindset. We have to change the worldview. And Islamophobia is also another challenge. Lack of education, lack of initiatives from a Muslim community. And finally, I came down with photos. Otherwise, I'll be left out by former speakers because all of them got photos. But my photo is, in fact, you think by yourself. This is Muslim community. We always, the one who got the champion said, I'm champion. And the rest said, how come you become champion? this is the situation. And this is why finally we realize this. And hopefully now Mahathir and Anwar will become model of this show. Okay. Not doing this. And inshallah we are trying to use Islamic-based economy to bring down the wall to become the bridge. Bridging the community, bridging the world, bridging Muslim and non-Muslim together, inshallah. And we will do this, inshallah, in the future. And all of us will become leaders. Islamic economy is Rahmatul Alameen, means that everyone become leaders. Not you are the winner, the sellers are the winner, the buyer are loser, no. And then I'm not promoting gays, but I think in doing Islamic economy there should be, yang lebih tua, yang lebih gede itu, dengan yang lebih muda, we should combine and, inshallah we can move the world together. And finally, I would like to conclude that Islam provides base for economic development. To be optimistic, Islam provides vehicle for economic development, and Muslims should be upper hand in economic, socio-economic development as well. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Okun in Cambodian language, Kop Chai in Lao language, Kini Zutin Badai in Myanmar language, Selamat Po in Tagalog, Kemon in Vietnam, and Kop Kun in Thai language. Thank you very much. And sorry for taking your time.
I'm really honored that I'm listening from Pauline. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, honorable panels, okay, Prof. Dr. Shukri, Prof. Dr. Muhammad Fauzan, Dr. Sebastian, and also Pak Samad. Yeah, it is actually honored for me got invited from Manusia to be one of the keynote speakers here, one lady. Okay, quite honored for me actually. Hopefully, all of you stay sustain to listen. Yeah, because of for the Gen Y. They just listen for 30 minutes. After that, this is why they don't want to listen. Okay, it is maybe like you are unlucky. I'm a panelist for number 4. Okay. Actually, my field of interest is risk management, and I also quite interested with the disaster management, as what Dr. Sebastian mentioned about the tsunami in Japan. I also did a research about the heavy flood in Malaysia 2014-15 years ago. What happened in Malaysia is, it is one of my research sponsored by the higher institution in Malaysia. Majority of them is actually from poor people. And then when they become a victim of the floods, okay, they don't have money to pay and to stay. And because of that, my team sit down together with the Central Bank of Malaysia, together with the agency from insurance industry, to make sure we come up with one product that we call it micro cover flood insurance policy to cover for the poor people, and then it's cover for the multinational company as a CSR. And then for sure it is because of it is for the poor people, they don't have money to pay for the premium. Then in technicality, we actually choose the special underwriting for them that we call it as parametric model. Okay, this is what I want to share with you. But actually, I chose one of the latest research that I did last year. It is regarding to comparative study on takaful rule and regulation. I compare the act between Malaysia and also Indonesia. Alright. Okay. And then actually what I try to share with you is I restricted to the takaful industry. As you know that ASEAN in the second contribution to the share of the global gross takaful region is actually from ASEAN, and then out of that Malaysia is number 1 and actually Indonesia is number 2. Okay, and then when we talk about the globalizations, okay, whereby they need to go global. It means takaful companies from any countries can sell product to any other countries. So they have a challenge in fact to the industry of takaful. Okay. For sure, if we want to go to the globalization, it is a competitive advantage for them, and it is a good for the customer. because of the insurance company try to produce as good as they can to come up with the very perfect policy because they need to compete with other industry. And then before the globalization, they just only compete with their own country, but now they can cross border to international. So it is actually a challenge for them. And then when we talk about the globalization, for sure is a fact with the deregulation, whereby certain restriction we need to remove and we need to restrain, and then it is leads to the liberalization, whereby we need to remove the tariff. It's happened to Malaysia start from last year, and then it is an impact that we call it as a de-tarification. As you know, in Malaysia now, previously when the customer have a vehicle, they need to buy motor insurance policy, and then actually you can go to any insurance company because of the tariff is actually similar, because it's based on the tariff regulated by the Central Bank of Malaysia. But it is because of the de-tarification, the rate or the premium of the motor insurance policy is actually different from one company to another company. So it is a challenge for the insurance company how they want to charge the premium because of the de-tarification. And then it is what I mentioned to you. It is the issue of the globalization, the effect to the insurance industry, and then because of that, we need to have a very good rule and regulation act, especially to Malaysia and Indonesia. How insurance company in Malaysia want to compete with the product from in Malaysia, you need to know our regulation, and it is a vice versa. Then, because of that, the gap is we need to set a minimum standard between a country, especially for the ASEAN, and then end up with the how to simplify that particular framework. It is because of that in Malaysia and Indonesia, we actually have our own rule and regulations. So what I would like to share with you is my team actually tried to identify what's the impact of the globalization happen to both countries, Malaysia and also Indonesia, and then we try to suggest a comparative framework for the insurance industry. So it means that let's say you are from the insurance industry originated from Malaysia, you want to penetrate your product to Malaysia, at least it is a simplified framework for you to cater with, to notify what for you to follow before you enter the market to Malaysia. It is actually vice versa. Okay, for your information, Malaysia, we actually follow IPSA 2013. In this act, actually it's comprised of the insurance, banking, and also finance. But it's different from Indonesia, whereby actually Indonesia Takaful Act, they use the Undang-Undang 40, and then it's plus together with the POJK 23. In Malaysia, if you are from the conventional, so you use the FSA, and then IFSA is actually purposely special to the Takaful only. It is Islamic. Whereas in Indonesia is compilation. UU40 and POJK is actually compilation insurance between conventional and also Takaful. It is actually quite challenging for me together with my team to make a comparison between these two orange and yellow actually. And then at the end of the day, we try to come up with the suggestion how to simplify these two acts. And then we choose a case study actually. We come up with 3 Takaful from Malaysia, and also we also interviewed 3 Takaful operators from Indonesia, and majority of them is actually CEO from the full-fledged of the Takaful industry. We use the what we call it a trusted eye, and then if we take a look here, it is the profile of the participants. And then we did the verbal team come up with the interview, and then we try to analyze using the content analysis, and then we actually reporting the finding from our research objective. What we found that when we asked the CEO from Indonesia what's going on to the takaful industry in Indonesia, it is because of the globalization. They say it is actually open market, it's good for you. And then due to that particular globalization, the impacts in liberalization. We need to sacrifice certain restriction of the acts, and also it is a competition. Okay, you will face a competition, a lot of the competition. Same goes to Malaysia. It is because of the de-tarification, liberalization, and also the competition. And what's happening in Malaysia now? Last year we already implemented de-tarification. As I said to you, de-tarification means that it's not just only based on the tariff. Insurance company can use their own tariff, which is different from one company to another. So previously, as I said, if you have to buy a motor insurance policy, you go any insurance company, it's actually the premium is similar. But because of the de-tarification, the price is no longer similar anymore. It is because of the impact of the globalization that we call it under de-tarifications. Okay, and then it is because, as I said to you, because of the when we compare the act between Indonesia and Malaysia, we in Malaysia we actually compile of it is a purpose of the takaful and takaful only, and if we compare with Indonesia, it is still have the compilation from the conventional exercises. So we need to come up with a very detailed to split the conventional and also the practice of the takaful. And then after that we come up with the similarity and also the differences between both two acts. And then it is a contribution that I actually come out from this particular research. And the limitation is we just only cover 6 takaful operators actually from both countries. And then this is just only for qualitative. We just give you the CEO, what's going on, the latest scenario in the industry of takaful, and then we just limit to top management only, and we just only focus on takaful. And then maybe for the future research, if we want to continue, we will actually cover all the takaful operator. We'll base on maybe mix together with the quantitative, and actually we can add on another ASEAN countries. And we also can choose another industry, okay? Because it's really restricted to the takaful operator only. Because of globalization, it's affect all actually majority of the industry in the world. As a conclusion, okay, hopefully it's actually can meet your deadline. The time. Okay, what's the impact of the takaful rule and regulation for Malaysia and Indonesia? Most of takaful operator confirm the impact is because of the market competition, liberalization, de-tarification, both countries. Number 2, regard with the what's the acts actually used by both countries. It is a confirm that Malaysia use IFSA and also Indonesia they use UU40 plus POJK. So if we compare between IFSA and UU40, you cannot get the what we call it, the similarity or differences because of the in Indonesia. If you want to look at the act, regard with the takaful industry, you need to read together UU40 plus UJK. Okay, and number 3, we able to highlight the similarity and differences. So it is actually easier for the takaful industry if you want to penetrate the market. You can look at the comparative act. It is easier to operator to understand what's used by both countries. And last but not least, the comparative analysis for IFSA and UU40 together with the POJK for the takaful rule and regulation from Malaysia and Indonesia was actually produced. With that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mari kita bersyukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala di mana pada hari yang pahit ini dan berbahagia ini kita dapat berkumpul, diberikan kesempatan kesehatan dalam acara seminar hari ini. Saya akan menyampaikan dalam bahasa Indonesia, and I believe that Sebastian really understand Indonesian language, and my friend from Thailand, from Manusia, I think he's good well, and it looks in this room is many Indonesian people, so we were sharing, making clear what we are doing in investigation in Aceh region. Okay, yang saya hormati Rektor Usia atau yang mewakili, yang saya hormati Bapak Dekan Fakultas Ekonomi Bisnis Pak Hasil, kemudian yang saya hormati Dekan Fakultas Fisipol Manusia Bapak Mahdi, juga yang saya hormati Ketua Panitia Acara Global Conference yaitu Bapak Dr. Effendi dan Dr. Sabri, yang saya hormati para keynote speaker, all my friend, dan segenap sivitas akademika Manusia, serta para hadirin yang hadir yang saya hormati pada hari ini. Pada kesempatan kali ini saya mewakili PT MIPA Bersaudara sekaligus PT Bara Energi Lestari untuk sharing apa yang telah kita lakukan di bumi Aceh dalam rangka ikut berkontribusi di dalam pembangunan daerah sekaligus menjadi pionir di dalam industri pertambangan. Untuk itu, karena waktu 20 menit, tentu nanti mohon Mas Heru bisa menyampaikan kalau lebih. Dan sebelum saya menyampaikan paparan, kita akan tampilkan film singkat mengenai operasi PT MIPA.
MIPA Bersaudara merupakan sebuah perusahaan yang bergerak dalam bidang pertambangan batu bara yang beroperasi di wilayah Kabupaten Aceh Barat, Provinsi Aceh. Sebagai industri batu bara terintegrasi pertama di Aceh, PT MIPA Bersaudara memiliki luasan wilayah konsesi seluas 3.134 hektar dengan sumber daya batu bara sebesar 383 juta metrik ton berdasarkan laporan eksplorasi sesuai standar JORC yang dikeluarkan oleh PT Ranch Indonesia pada Juli 2011. Lalu, apa visinya?
Menjadi produsen batu bara kelas dunia dan mitra yang terpercaya dalam mewujudkan pertumbuhan wilayah yang berkesinambungan.
Operasi pertambangan dilakukan dengan mengikuti standar dan prosedur yang telah ditetapkan. Diawali dengan eksplorasi dan pembersihan lahan secara manual yang dilanjutkan dengan pengupasan lapisan topsoil. Selanjutnya dilakukan proses coal gating, yakni proses penambangan batu bara dengan memakai alat berat. Batu bara kemudian dibawa ke room stockpile, yakni penumpukan batu bara mentah untuk selanjutnya dilakukan proses penguncian batu bara dengan menggunakan crusher. Batu bara yang sudah melewati proses crushing akan di-stok terlebih dahulu di stockpile. Selanjutnya, produk batu bara dari stockpile akan diangkut ke pelabuhan menggunakan truk melalui jalan halim. Kemudian dilakukan proses dumping batu bara ke hopper untuk ditransfer melalui conveyor yang menuju ke stockpile pelabuhan ataupun langsung menuju tongkang untuk proses batching. Setiap tongkang berisi batu bara akan dibawa ke vessel untuk melakukan proses transshipment sebagai tahapan terakhir. Dari segi lain, untuk mencapai menjaga wilayah pasca tambang tetap hijau, maka dilakukan reklamasi untuk penanaman kembali lahan bekas tambang, dimulai dari pembibitan hingga penanaman kembali tanaman di area bekas tambang. Dalam upaya mendukung visi dan misi perusahaan, maka kami berkomitmen untuk melaksanakan pengelolaan sistem manajemen terintegrasi yang meliputi manajemen mutu, kesehatan, ketiga pertambangan dan lingkungan hidup, keselamatan operasi pertambangan, keamanan, tanggung jawab sosial secara berkelanjutan, dan seluruh tahapan kegiatan operasi pertambangan untuk kepuasan pelanggan, mengendalikan risiko dan dampak dari kegiatan pertambangan dan pendukungnya. Selain itu, sesuai dengan misi, secara aktif terlibat dalam masyarakat sebagai warga korporasi yang baik. Dalam hal ini, kami berkomitmen untuk terus-menerus berkontribusi terhadap pembangunan ekonomi berkelanjutan, serta meningkatkan kualitas hidup karyawan dan keluarganya, komunitas lokal, dan masyarakat melalui berbagai kegiatan-kegiatan tanggung jawab sosial. Saat ini, PT Miko Bersaudara telah mengalami beberapa prestasi, baik dari lokal, nasional maupun internasional. Di antaranya, CSR Award peringkat 1 dari Kabupaten Aceh Barat tahun 2015, penghargaan penilaian lingkungan kategori pertama oleh Kementerian Energi dan Sumber Daya Mineral tahun 2015, CSR Award peringkat 1 dari Kabupaten Aceh Barat tahun 2016, CSR Award peringkat 1 dari Kabupaten Aceh Barat tahun 2017, CSR Indonesia Award kategori Pendidikan dan Kesehatan dari Majalah CSR Indonesia tahun 2017, penghargaan kecelakaan nihil Zero Accident Award oleh Kementerian Ketenagakerjaan Republik Indonesia tahun 2017, Pasagan Award 2018 untuk pengelola CSR terbaik tahun 2018, penghargaan perusahaan peduli pendidikan dan minat baca dari Manusia tahun 2018, penghargaan prestasi pengelolaan pertambangan mineral dan batu bara kategori utama tahun 2018, dan CSR Indonesia Award peringkat gold untuk kategori Cipta Karsa Mandiri tahun 2018. Saat ini dengan berbagai infrastruktur yang dimiliki serta didukung dengan 1.552 orang pekerja dengan persentase 80% bekerja asal Aceh dan 20% pekerja luar, perusahaan berupaya penuh untuk melakukan optimalisasi produksi hingga mencapai target 15 juta metrik ton per tahun.
Terima kasih. Demikian sekilas apa yang telah kami lakukan. Masuk ke dalam materi, kami ingin sampaikan bahwa kami beroperasi di Aceh sejak tahun 2010. Ini lokasi kita di Melapo, meliputi 3.134 hektar PT MIPA, dan juga ada sebenarnya PT Bara Energi Lestari yang satu grup, satu di wilayah Nagan Raya, satu di wilayah Aceh Barat. Kita punya posisi 12,5 km dari Samudra Hindia. Struktur kepemilikan saham perlu kami sampaikan di sini. PT MIPA dan BEL dimiliki oleh media Jaya bersama, di mana share-nya dimiliki oleh PT Inti Murni Kencana, juga Reswara KBM, ABM adalah TMT Tiara Marga Trakindo Group. Apa visi misi dan nilai perusahaan yang mendasari operasi MIPA saat ini adalah menjadi produsen batu bara subbituminous kelas dunia dan mitra terpercaya dalam mewujudkan pertumbuhan wilayah yang bersinambungan. Misinya adalah secara terus-menerus menciptakan lapangan kerja yang layak dan berkualitas bagi sebanyak mungkin rakyat Indonesia, selalu memastikan pertumbuhan bisnis berkelanjutan yang memaksimalkan nilai pemangkasan saham, senantiasa menyediakan solusi bernilai tambah yang akan mengoptimalkan kepuasan pelanggan serta secara aktif terlibat dalam masyarakat sebagai warga korporat yang baik. Kita memegang nilai di grup perusahaan kami adalah integrity, continuous improvement, excellence, proactive, accountability, dan teamwork. Kemudian perlu kami sampaikan di sini bahwa di dalam sebelum melakukan operasi PT MIFA harus comply terhadap seluruh peraturan yang terkait, di mana yang utama adalah izin operasi produksi PT MIFA sendiri di regulasi pertambangan, izin yang utama juga operasi pelabuhan PT MIFA, izin pembangunan jalan, juga kelayakan lingkungan hidup di tambang, yaitu yang terkenal dengan istilah AMDAL. AMDAL ada dua, tambang maupun di pelabuhan. Kemudian juga ada di sini izin-izin yang lain yang meliputi juga main closure, di mana harus dilakukan sebelum beroperasinya tambang. Pada saat bagaimana nanti tambang itu pada saat tutup terakhirnya harus menjadi apa sesuai regulasi yang ada. Kemudian sertifikat clean and clear, artinya perusahaan itu memang clean dan clear dari sisi peraturan di bidang pertambangan. Pengakuan eksportir terbatas juga harus dimiliki dan tidak kurang dari 40 perizinan turunan sebelum yang untuk mendukung operasional pertambangan ini. Ini menjadi catatan juga bahwa betapa banyaknya perizinan yang harus dipenuhi di dalam menjalankan operasi khususnya di pertambangan. Jadi kalau kita jumlahkan dari 40 plus 9 barangkali 49 kurang lebih. Nah, grup kami berkomitmen penuh sebelum beroperasi harus melakukan pemenuhan atas seluruh izin yang terkait. Kemudian kami informasikan juga cadangan batu bara atau sumber daya. Sumber daya adalah berapa kandungan batu bara di dalam konsesi itu yang belum tentu juga semuanya bisa ditambang. Kurang lebih total luasan 3.134, sumber dayanya 320 juta ton. Nah, ini adalah cadangan yang bernilai ekonomis pada saat ini adalah 220 juta ton. Perlu kita lihat bahwa batu bara yang ada di Melaboh ini, khususnya di PT MIFA, mempunyai tipikal sedemikian. Moisturnya cukup tinggi 44%, kemudian kadar abunya 6-8%, sulfurnya yang cukup baik, jadi kandungan sulfurnya rendah 0,1 sampai 0,2%. Kemudian kalori, ini menarik sekali, kalorinya di dalam perdagangan batu bara adalah yang kalori GAR biasanya 3.100 hingga 3.400, di mana ini adalah masuk kategori low wrinkle. Low wrinkle ini adalah dijabarkan menjadi kalori, terjemahnya kalori rendah di dalam industri batu bara. Nah, ini penggunaannya juga spesifik, tentu berbeda dengan batu bara di Kalimantan yang kalori rata-rata karena ada 4.000 ke atas. Ini mempengaruhi juga harga dan penggunaannya. Rata-rata pembangkitan di Indonesia itu range-nya adalah 3.800 hingga 4.800 GAR, sehingga kalori GAR kita itu agak sulit diterima di pembangkitan khususnya di Indonesia. Kemudian harga, kita lihat tren di sini. Ini kalau kita lihat dari kita mengutip dari Pledge Perdagangan Internasional batu bara, kalori batu bara Melaboh itu berada di paling rendah harganya di internasional. Kalau kita lihat di sini saat ini bisa dibuka di ICI Index kira-kira $24 per ton di atas kapal. Kalau kita lihat kalori tinggi itu kira-kira sekarang itu di $110 untuk GAR 6.000. Ini menjadi gambaran kita betapa komoditas batu bara itu memang naik turun. Ini kalori tengah, menengah. 5 tahun ke depan kebutuhan memang relatif stabil. Namun pasar batu bara loreng ini saat ini hanya ke India, Cina, Nah, Asia Tenggara, ini rekan-rekan dari Asia, Kamboja, Malaysia, kita mencoba ke Vietnam maupun Thailand. Tantangan investasi sesuai tema juga terkait hari ini, bahwa investasi khususnya di bidang pertambangan adalah komoditas itu sendiri, kemudian alamnya, kemudian pengenalan industri terhadap sosial masyarakat, kemudian juga ketersediaan infrastruktur maupun supportnya. Yang tidak kalah penting tadi kita sudah sampaikan regulasi. Jadi ada 5 aspek ini. Tantangan investasi kalau kita jabarkan khususnya di MIPA, kondisi alam. Kondisi alam memang di pesisir bagian barat ini tadi sudah disampaikan juga, curah hujannya juga tinggi dibandingkan di tempat yang lain. Kemudian cuacanya juga ekstrim untuk laut. Ada 2 periode monsun, itu di bulan Juni dan juga di bulan Oktober, November. Juga tidak kalah penting dari Sebastian juga menyampaikan, we stay in position of earthquake area and tsunami. But really we hope everybody here is don't want to get any tsunami happen in Aceh. No more. Kemudian juga pengenalan industri dan sosial masyarakat ini menjadi tantangan tersendiri, karena masyarakat perlu mendapatkan pemahaman tentang industri pertambangan khususnya batu bara, dan menjadi tantangan utama karena kita adalah pionir. Kemudian infrastruktur aspeknya engineering tentu menjadi tantangan tersendiri juga karena kita berhadapan dengan Samudra Hindia. Tadi sudah kita sampaikan, dan belum ada contoh untuk kita replikasi di area kita ini. Kemudian kondisi pasar tadi sudah kita sampaikan, kita mempunyai barang kalori rendah, namun ini adalah anugerah yang luar biasa sehingga harus dikelola dengan baik dari sudut pandang keekonomian dan hal yang lain. Kemudian regulasi tadi kita sampaikan, ini menjadi tantangan dan khususnya karena Aceh adalah otonomi khusus, jadi ini menjadi PR bersama tentunya bagaimana mensinkronkan antara peraturan pusat dengan daerah. Satu hal adalah otonomi daerah, yang kedua di dalam bidang pertambangan ada Undang-Undang Nomor 4 2009 yang baru pertambangan pusat. Ada juga rencana yang kita dengar adalah akan dikeluarkannya kanun pertambangan di Aceh. Juga ada Undang-Undang 11 tahun 2006 khusus pemerintahan Aceh. Ini menarik untuk menjadi kajian sehingga investasi menjadi kondusif dan semua pihak mendapatkan manfaatnya. Kemudian Aceh daerah investasi yang cukup menantang dari pengalaman kami. Kenapa? Ini tentu kita sharing juga untuk dalam rangka pengembangan Aceh terhadap investor-investor yang akan datang. Aceh kita ketahui bersama bahwa wilayah kita dulu konflik bersenjata yang berkepanjangan, kemudian juga tragedi tsunami, yang ini tentu sedikit banyak akan membentuk tatanan sosial yang memang harus dicermati dengan baik, sehingga ini harus diolah sehingga menjadi hal yang positif dari sisi investasi. Kami mengutip Pak Muslihin atas tokoh, kalau nggak salah dekan beliau di usia, dan juga Putra Aceh Barat yang cukup memberikan apresiasi kepada MIPA dalam rangka investasi di Aceh, dan kami serius melakukan pengembangan masyarakat.
Mohon maaf Pak, waktunya 1 menit lagi.
1 menit. Oke. Ini adalah analisa umum di dalam investasi, ada strength, weakness, kemudian opportunity, threat-nya, sehingga mendasari dalam kami berinvestasi. Next. Milestone kami adalah kita tetapin 2011 sejak operasi, eksplorasi hingga construction, kemudian 2017 Ini adalah tren production. Kita mengenalkan produksi 2012 hingga 2016 agak turun karena pasar dunia harganya jatuh. Kita bangkit lagi 2017, 2018 dan seterusnya, kita harapkan bisa sustain menjadi baik. Kemudian ini adalah alur pertambangan, di mana setiap tahapan penambangan kami melakukan standarisasi melalui SOP-SOP yang harus diikuti oleh seluruh karyawan. Kemudian di sini pasar batu bara tadi kita baik dari India, Cina, Asia Tenggara, dalam negeri malah kira-kira baru 10%. Reklamasi pasca tambang ini adalah menarik dan wajib dilakukan, dan kami komitmen untuk menjalankan ini sesuai aturan perundang-undangan yang berlaku. Ini salah satu bukti, dan dalam pantauan terus-menerus oleh Departemen Dinas Teknis, yaitu Dinas Pertambangan maupun PLH. Kita komitmen di dalam pembibitan nursery yang untuk penyewaan. Ini adalah kemudian kami ingin menyampaikan penerimaan negara dari industri pertambangan batubara itu adalah salah satunya kewajiban royalti, kemudian kontribusi sumbangan pembangunan daerah, walaupun sifatnya tidak wajib, tapi kami beroperasi di wilayah Aceh sehingga kami ingin berkontribusi dan perpajakan. Sebagai gambaran realisasi pembayaran royalti hingga saat ini 2018 kami telah menyetorkan 76 miliar kepada negara. Tentu ini adalah refleksi dari harga dan production yang dimana 80%-nya akan dikembalikan kepada daerah penghasil. Kontribusi sumbangan pembangunan daerah ini kami komitmen 1% terhadap kabupaten maupun provinsi dengan nominal yang sama. Kami telah menyetorkan kepada rekening Pemda 26,7 miliar hingga tahun 2018 bulan Juni. Tentu kontribusi dengan daerah ini akan terus meningkat seiring dengan meningkatnya produksi MIPA. Ini adalah capaian-capaian MIPA meraih Taxpayer Award, kemudian kita penyumbang devisa. Kemudian next. Ini di dalam rangka kontribusi MIPA ekspor dari Aceh, dan tentu menimbulkan efek devisa. Tenaga kerja ini kami kilas, mohon tambahan sedikit. Tenaga kerja ini kami komitmen bahwa kami operasi di wilayah Aceh tentu memaksimalkan sumber daya lokal, dan minimal 70% kami berkomitmen adalah putra putri Aceh. Kalau kita lihat di sini total karyawan kita sudah 1.270%, di mana prosentasenya adalah Aceh Barat 63% lokal, kemudian ring Aceh adalah 13%, kemudian luar Aceh hanya 24%. Jadi kontennya berarti sudah sekitar 76%, dan kami terus ingin mencapai yang lebih. Ini kami satu hal juga kontribusi kami terhadap dunia pendidikan dari beberapa universitas, khususnya Syahkuala, Teguman, terus kita lakukan program-program magang, kerja praktek maupun program yang lain. Ini dokumentasinya. CSR ini adalah menjadi bagian penting dari perusahaan, dan kami komitmen melalui 7 pilar, di mana 7 pilar pengabdian pengembangan masyarakat PT MIPA ini adalah hasil dari semi-lokal dengan seluruh stakeholder lokal, yaitu di Aceh Barat, sehingga menghasilkan pilar-pilar menjadi acuan program setiap tahun atas pengembangan masyarakat. Ini adalah strategi CSR MIPA mulai 2011, 2014, 2017, kemudian hingga rencana ke depan. Penerapan CSR kami melakukan ring. Jadi ring 1 adalah 9 kampung di wilayah proyek, kemudian ring 2 Aceh Barat 322 kampung, kemudian ring 3 adalah Aceh secara keseluruhan secara provinsi. Ini adalah kami informasikan CSR kami selama mulai 2013 hingga 2018, di mana tahun 2018 8,9 miliar kami alokasikan untuk dana CSR MIPA untuk pengembangan. Rincian programnya adalah di dalam 7 pilar tadi. Kami juga melakukan kontribusi terhadap kegiatan-kegiatan bencana. Kemarin kami juga mengirim tim IRT kami, Emergency Response Team, ke Palu, Donggala, dan tim kami 24 jam siap IRT untuk berkontribusi meringankan beban dimanapun ada bencana. Saya kira karena waktu habis, ini yang bisa dapat kami sampaikan. Sekali lagi mengakhiri presentasi kami MIPA berterima kasih kepada seluruh pihak, khususnya warga Aceh, pemerintah daerah, eksekutif, legislatif, lembaga pendidikan tinggi, sehingga kami bisa beroperasi. Untuk selanjutnya kami tidak akan berhasil tanpa dukungan semua pihak yang telah kami sebutkan tadi. Untuk itu MIPA sangat terbuka di dalam menerima masukan yang positif tentunya demi kemajuan bersama. Dan dengan kesuksesan inilah kami ingin kembali ke visi misi, artinya dapat memberikan manfaat sebesar mungkin kepada seluruh stakeholder yang terlibat. Saya kira demikian, mohon supportnya dan mohon koreksinya. Terima kasih atas waktunya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.